Have you ever wished you could just get a do-over in life? I mean, not just a small mulligan, but a total restart. But here's the twist. You get to keep all the memories of every single person who ever did you wrong. That's the story we're diving into today. A tale about settling old scores when you've got the ultimate cheat code, knowing the future.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. You wake up and suddenly you're young again. But in your head, you have a whole lifetime of memories. All the backstabbing, the heartbreak, the betrayals. You know who the fake friends are, who's secretly plotting against you. What would you even do with that kind of power? Well, our protagonist is about to show us, and it's gonna be a wild ride. And that's our hero, Su Li, laying down her new life's motto. It's simple, it's direct, and honestly, it's kind of chilling. The days of turning the other cheek are over. She's been handed a second chance, and you better believe she's going to use it to balance the scales. For good.
So how does this all happen? Well, she's not just hopping in a time machine. She's been completely reborn, dropped right back into a critical moment in her past. It's like all the pieces are back on the chessboard, but this time she knows every move her opponent is going to make. The game is finally hers to control.
Okay, so here's the setup. She's 14 again. The perfect age, right before everything started to fall apart. And here's the big one. Her mother is still alive, a person she tragically lost in her first life. But the best part? To everyone else, she's just the same quiet, scarred girl. They have absolutely no clue that she's basically a war veteran and they haven't even fired the first shot.
But look, to really get why she's doing this, you have to understand the pain she went through. This isn't just about winning a game. It's about avenging some really deep personal wounds. The scars she carries, the ones you can see and the ones you can't, they aren't just memories. They're the fuel for this entire revenge mission.
And the most obvious wound is a scar on her face. In her first go-around, she was told it was just a terrible carriage accident. But now she knows the truth. It wasn't an accident at all. It was a planned attack, a setup orchestrated by her very own half-sister, Su Ye. That scar, the thing that made her hide from the world, was just the opening move in a long, cruel plot to destroy her.
And this really paints the picture, doesn't it? On one side, you have Su Li. She's the legitimate daughter, but she's scarred and forced to hide away from society. On the other side, you have Su Ye, the daughter of a concubine, who's out there being celebrated as a famous beauty. She's soaking up all the attention, stealing Su Li's status, her belongings, her entire life. It's a classic, devastating case of a stolen identity.
So with all this knowledge, Su Li isn't just sitting around waiting for the next attack. Nope. The second her sister, Su Ye, walks into her room, the first move of this new, high-stakes chess game begins. And it all kicks off with what sounds like a simple, innocent question.
Ah, there it is, the sweet talking facade that totally worked on Su Li the first time around. Su Yue asks to borrow this priceless jade headpiece, a family heirloom. To anyone listening, it sounds like a normal sisterly thing to do. But Su Li knows the real deal. In their world, borrow is just a prettier word for steal.
And this is where everything is different. While Su Ye is looking at her quiet, timid sister, on the inside, Su Li is ice cold. The girl she used to be is gone. In her place is a master strategist who sees the whole game board. She knows this isn't a loan, it's theft, and she's about to use her sister's own greed as a weapon against her. And boom! This is Su Li's first brilliant move. She agrees to lend the headpiece, but with one little catch. She needs a signed IOU. And check out how she frames it. It's not for her, oh no, it's just in case their mother asks. She plays the part of the helpless daughter so perfectly, making Su Yu think it's just a silly formality.
Let's just break down how perfect this trap is. First, she hesitates a little, which only makes Su Yue want the headpiece more. Smart. Second, she blames the IOU on her mom, which completely disarms her sister. Genius. Third, she gets the signed proof, the evidence. And finally, she hands over the treasure, knowing there is absolutely no way Su Yue can or will ever pay it back. The trap is officially set.
But Su Li's newfound clarity, this ability to see the truth, it doesn't just stop with her sister. This whole headpiece incident acts like a little test for everyone in her household, and it's about to expose another enemy hiding right under her nose.
So, after Su Ye walks out with this priceless heirloom,
Su-Li's loyal maids are, understandably, freaking out. They can't believe she just let her take it. But one of the maids, her reaction is a little off.
And there it is. This maid, Yuki, actually defends Su-Yu. She calls the other maids stingy and talks about the deep bond between the sisters. Now, to anyone else that might just sound naive, but to Su-Li, who knows that bond is built on lies and betrayal, it's basically a confession. She's got a spy in her own room.
Wow. Can you imagine how much this must have stung? In her past life, Yuki's was Su-Li's favorite, the one she trusted the most, the one who always seemed to say the right thing. And now she realizes it was all an act. This isn't just about a disloyal employee. This is a deep betrayal from someone she thought was a friend.
So what does our new, strategic Su-Li do? She immediately rewrites her whole game plan. She figures out who's actually loyal to her, Sikin and Mo Hua. She isolates the traitor, Yu Qi, cutting her off from anything important. But, and this is the clever part, she doesn't fire her. No way. The new Su-Li knows it's better to keep your enemies close. Yu Qi is now a pawn, and she's going to be very useful later.
Okay, so her first trap is set. She's cleaned house, figuratively speaking. And now Su-Li makes a move that shows just how much she has changed. The victim is gone, the player has just entered the arena.
Think about this. That scar on her face kept her locked away in her own home for years, drowning in shame, but not anymore. Today, she orders a carriage. She's choosing to step back out into the world, but this time, it's on her terms. This isn't just her running an errand. This is a declaration of war.
So let's recap. Su-Li is now holding a signed IOU that her sister can never, ever repay. She's identified a spy in her own ranks, and for the first time in forever, she's about to leave her mansion. The game is well and truly afoot. The big question is, what happens next? What happens when this reborn girl steps back out into the world she thought had destroyed her?